Well, and they can't patent the plant, so therefore the best next option is to probate it.
Well, I think the best
prohibition against it.
I think one of the best ways is to go ahead and get arrested and go into court, beat these guys another way. But a better way is for all of us to go down to our mayors and our councils and our governors and our state capitals and those of us that believe in this, and that should be everyone in this country, and we should force the issue, and we should demand that this insane process stop. They can't arrest us for doing that. They can't arrest us for doing that. And every single one of us that smoke, and that's a whole bunch of us, we should go through our dope and get those seeds and just put them in the ground wherever we can. Let's see if we can have marijuana growing all over this country.
Yeah, maybe outgrow Big Bro. And another thing, too, to your question was during Prop 19, the feds made that horrible threat. If you pass Prop 215, we're going to come marching in there. Look, they ain't got enough soldiers. They ain't got enough.
Achtung.
And now that Prop 19 didn't pass, what they did do is they went into the counties where everybody voted no on Prop 19, and the government's going in there now and doing all these arrests and all these drug busts because they know that they have the sympathy of the community there. Had we passed Prop 19, they would not have actually gone in.
Yeah, totally.
Right on, Casper. What about the Colorado people? Do you think you guys could grow hemp out there and make some money off of it? Industrial hemp.
We could do it one season a year.
Yeah. You know, if we grow hemp for oil, 20 barrels of oil comes off of an acre of hemp, and you know all about hemp being much more better than a petroleum product as far as oil and diesel and all that stuff. Why don't we start growing this stuff all over the country?
Yep, get rid of Saudi Arabia and all the foreign
damn straight
that feed our blood veins to oil.
All the billions of dollars that we're throwing out of this country, exactly. Yep.
I'm going to take a chance to do something that we don't normally do. I'm going to put one more voice on the phone. We do have another caller calling in from area code 616 who would like to be part of the conversation. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I am. This is David from Michigan.
Hi, David.
I'm a Detroit boy myself, David.
Hi. I wanted to agree with you that these federal laws against marijuana and against hemp are definitely unconstitutional. And having been a litigant in federal court, I understand just how corrupt the federal courts are, and I understand it from a very personal perspective how they abuse the Commerce Clause to get away with these things and how the federal judges commit treason against the people and the Constitution in order to uphold these laws. I'm aware of a case from 2006, I believe it was U.S. v. Smith, that said, I'm not sure which circuit it was, but it was the appeals court case that said it was a Ninth Amendment challenge, and it said that the court said people don't have the right to grow their own food, and it was a hemp case. It was from out west. I think it was some Indians on a reservation were growing hemp. And so I've looked into case law on this, and I know how the federal courts are corrupt. I totally agree with you.
Well, good for you. Before we go any farther, I got to jump in late now. We're going to take a commercial break here. When we come back, we're going to have 8 minutes for all of us to chit-chat about how wonderful this plan is and let everybody know why it's important to take time for hemp. Yeah, baby, let me introduce myself. My name is Casper Leitch, the show's name. Time for Hemp live all around the world. Where? On American Freedom Radio.com and where else? On AM/FM stations all across America. And truth be told, yes, I am, well, more than kind of high. And I'm having a wonderful time with my friends Carey Burns, Shane Eden, and David from Michigan. And we are talking about the constitutional aspects of this war on drugs. Gentlemen, pick up where you left off. We'll start with Dave from Michigan.
Well, having been a litigant in federal court, I know about how they abuse the Commerce Clause. It seems there's no limit to what the federal government claims in the way of powers to regulate things nowadays. So I don't see any hope for this. I hate to be I hate to seem so down about it, but that seems to be how the federal government is. They have the guns, and they're going to push it. I don't really see much hope for us even in the courts. Even though I agree we should keep taking it to the courts, I'm not sure it's going to help.
Well, David, as a fellow Michigander, I'm telling you that that's the way we are going to beat them, by keep taking it to the court, because we do have the Constitution on our side. Plus, we have the truth on our side. And the truth is that there is absolutely nothing bad about this plant, no matter how you look at it, and everything good. So, yeah, that's exactly what they want us to do. They want us to feel like it's impossible and we're not going to win. But that's because they're desperate, and that they know that as soon as we do wake up and fight them, that they've lost, and they've lost already, because we're talking about it right now. But it's good to talk to you, my friend, and I know exactly what you're talking about going into courts.
Well, also,
and you can also Google. Let me go in there before you go to it, Carey. You can Google Carl Olson. He's got Carl's Corner. He's had the government in court for almost 20 years, cleared the Supreme Court, and he keeps winning case after case after case. And what got him doing that was he was arrested with 20 tons of marijuana back in the late 70s. At the time, it was the largest arrest in DEA's history. And when he got out of jail, the very first thing he did was hire a lawyer and began countersuing the United States government. And he's had a couple of cases go clear to the Supreme Court and win. So I know it's expensive, it's exhausting, and you just think never, but you get a good lawyer. Uncle Sam's wrong.
Now, we need counselors, not lawyers, and we need to do it as a class action suit. There's a lot of easy ways to do it. We're getting smarter now. We're just going to do it. We need to gather together, and thank God for American Freedom Radio, and thank God for this show, Time for Hemp, because it is. Time for Head might not be a bad show either, but Time for Hemp, because we're getting a chance to talk with one another, and as soon as we start communicating, buddy, they lose.
That's right. And Carey, you were going to say something?
Well, I think that, the Dave there from Michigan made a good point that it does look real dismal, and one of the main reasons for that is because we have this shadow government that really runs the show. We have this pony puppet and dog and pony show going between the Republicans and Democrats to keep everybody distracted. But the shadow government, is controlled by these billionaire bankers and stuff that have, held this country hostage for a long time. These are the culprits that keep everything like prohibition going on like this, because they profit the most. When you cause strain among the people and cause problems and stuff and make it very difficult for them, the people at the top make more money, and that's what they're doing. And that's why it is sort of dismal. Yeah, you have a lot of victories here and there in the courts and stuff, and it's a slow and arduous process. But that's how they want it to be. They want this damn thing to go on another 100 years. Suit them fine, because they stand to make a lot of damn money. And that's where that's where America's got to wake up. We've got a shadow government here that has nothing to do really with our Congress or anything like that. They're controlled by these group of people, and these are the main culprits behind it all. And they control the drug cartels in Mexico that responsible for bringing the stuff in. They control those governments that say they're going to control the cartels, and this is where people need to get educated.
Absolutely, Carey. You know how to get rid of shadows, don't you?
Pardon?
You know how to get rid of shadows, don't you?
I guess turn the lights on.
Shine the light on them, exactly. And that's all we got to do is get out there and do what we're doing, and get out there and talk about it and shine the light on, and they don't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
They're criminals. And Eric Holder's a criminal, too.
We've only got a few more seconds left. Dave from Michigan, you want to say anything before we end the show?
Sure. I believe the federal government has turned into a criminal conspiracy where they're all working together, and we can't expect justice in the federal courts. When I went to a We the People meeting, I saw Bob Schultz speak. He said the people are the ultimate enforcers of the Constitution. I believe he's absolutely right. We are the only ones who can finally hold the federal government accountable, because they can't hold themselves accountable.
Amen. Shane, real quick.
Absolutely. I know Robert Schultz personally. He's been fighting the IRS thing, and I'm telling you, we're going to win, guys. We just need to keep talking and stand up, and we the people own this country.
And Carey?
I invite everybody to join my son's show from 3 to 5 every day on the Freedom Files radio show on American Freedom Radio. You'll learn a lot of facts about this shadow government and a lot of things that's going on. It's very informative. And thank you so much, Casper, for having us on.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And Monday, Tuesday, we have guest host Dean Becker sitting in for me. I'm taking personal leave. I'm going to be taking care of matters in the rear, and he'll be in my foxhole. And then on Wednesday night, I'll be back for Leap Night next week. So remember, the next time you hear me, you'll know that it's time for hemp.